Hi, this is Selene reporting for Kids First. Today, I just finished watching an animation presentation based on the new movie Onward. Today, I'm with Carlos Felipe León from Pixar Studios.
Hi, everyone.
How did you create this fantasy world?
Well, I worked on it for almost 2 years. This is actually the first film that I worked on at Pixar, which was really something special for me. And I worked specifically designing the sets and environments for the film, along with other artists. So it was super fun. I had to look for inspiration in traditional fantasy movies and books and illustrations, and try and mix all those fantasy things with like a modern suburban world. So it was definitely very challenging, but also very fun to do all that.
LA is a modern inspiration for the setting. Did you see any new places that inspired something?
In LA?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we went there on a field trip to try and look at how LA is put together. And the movie's very much inspired by what we saw there. There's a lot of cement and infrastructure and asphalt, but also a lot of really interesting decorations and types of architecture. So we were definitely looking for parallels between the archetypes of fantastic architecture, and we could find some of those things in LA. We were looking, for instance, at the like Art Deco buildings and seeing how in traditional fantasy the dwarves used to build like these stone structures underground with where the mines were and everything. So we definitely saw parallels like that, or how Art Nouveau architecture is kind of like elvish architecture that's very much inspired by vegetation and natural elements. So those were the kinds of things that we were looking for over there.
So, Carlos, what was your favorite scene in the movie Onward and why?
I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it's a scene that involves Guinevere and Guinevere going free. So look out for that.
So, did your vision or perspective change on the film?
Yes, at first I was involved with working on the film since the very beginning, and at that time we were still sort of looking for what the feeling of the movie should be or what it should look like. So we're trying a lot of different things, and slowly but surely, with enough time and the work of the whole art department, we're able to come to understand what this movie should be and what the balance between the fantastic elements and the mundane modern elements should be. So that was definitely like a learning experience, but by the end of the film I could really understand how things should be put together.
Okay. So Onward was different from many other Pixar movies. Did the fantasy element interest you?
Absolutely, and it's just that was one of the interesting things, is where we knew that we wanted to be inspired by fantasy, but then again, there's many different types of fantasy. We're looking at some of the old like 80s action fantasy movies, or fantastic literature, or as the director Dan Scanlon mentioned, was looking at the kinds of like air spray illustrations on the sides of vans and things like that. That was like super inspiring, and just like a lot of fun to look at that stuff and come up with something new. Yeah.
Okay. So if there was one word that you could use to describe Onward, what would it be?
I would say 2 words. Cheating, sorry. Fun and full of heart. That's more than 2.
So let's go onward to March 6th. It will be in theaters nationwide. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to get all of our latest reviews. And don't forget to catch the buzz on my next review. Bye!
Bye.